All right, Danny, try and open your show. Try and greet.
All right. Hi, welcome to Nobody Does It Better with Danny Nedelko, with your host Danny Nedelko, my very beautiful guest Elias Rønnenfelt.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, was that some kind of like audio applause or some shit?
Yeah, I tried like setting the vibe.
Oh shit, what time is it? Check your watch! It's time for the show! Get some nachos! Nobody does it better! It's the best! With your favorite host! So sexy! Daddy! It's your boy! Daddy! It's your boy! Daddy! It's your boy! Daddy! It's your boy!
Hey, Danny, how you doing?
How's it going, man?
Things are all right here, yeah. And there's a heat wave going on in Copenhagen.
How hot is it? How hot is it in Copenhagen right now? Because we had a bit of a heat wave this week.
It's like 26 degrees, but that's pretty hot for Copenhagen. I just bought one of these things.
Well, last time I checked, you had no fans.
Well, I mean, the past couple of years, actually, I've been, the past couple of summers, I've been searching the whole city for those fans, but they're always sold out.
Yeah, how's the lockdown been treating you?
I mean, I can't complain. The first month was, cold, dark, and anxiety-ridden because nobody really knew how far it was going to go. I guess people still don't.
Yeah.
I've been in Denmark for most of the time, and we've been luckier than many other places. I mean, we haven't had any bans on going outside, and compared to many other places, I really can't complain.
But actually, yeah, I think just before the lockdown, I was actually chatting to you. I don't know about what, but then you were like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I'm actually recording tomorrow." You guys were about to record your fucking banging lockdown tune.
That song was like written in one night, rehearsed the next night, and recorded in the third, because there was that great deal of uncertainty and a slight panic in the air, and we didn't really know if everything was going to shut completely down and we weren't going to be able to see each other again for I don't know how long. There's this sort of slightly lawless area.
Christiana, right? Is that what you told me?
Yeah, not Christiania, another one. That's just a compartment of old auto mechanic compartments that house like a kickboxing club and a Muay Thai club and a venue called Mayhem.
The legendary Mayhem.
Jumped up hippies in another building, like just different spaces. Yeah, sort of a warehouse space, so to speak. And there's a compartment called Mayhem that we have been rehearsing in since like almost the beginning.
Is it like government funded in a way? Like, do you guys like the rent space? And
I mean, it's government funded in the sense that the government lets it happen, but it's every year we're told it's the last year before they're gonna like bulldoze the whole fucking place and build expensive condos or rich bricks,
So we found this place. It's like a storage building with like 5 floors of like lockers, like the usual kind of like people stuff. But it's quite interesting because people still like furniture. There's like a pop-up shop there that we found on 1 floor that somebody was selling clothes. But essentially, it's just like closed keys corner safe store, and on the 5th floor, somebody like converted a fucking studio.
So whoever keeps an eye on that building has a pretty loose definition of storage.
yeah, exactly. Okay, follow-up question. Since you have one now, cigarettes of choice.
Marlboro Gold is my go-to. I have a Japanese pack here that looks a little better. I don't read Japanese, so I can't tell if it says that it's gonna kill me or not. This picture is quite gross. It's some sort of neck with a rectum-looking hole in it. We got a nice picture on one of the warning signs of apparently smoking turns you blind. It says, but it's just a photograph of an eyeball that's completely white. It has no pupil.
Fuck, I haven't seen that one.
it just looks pretty good. So whenever I see it on one of the rows, I say, give me that one with the eye, please.
Yeah, my current favorite that I've seen is just a naked guy lying in bed in like a fetus position, kind of almost like he's reenacting that photo that John Lennon had with Yoko, but Yoko's not there.
Yeah, no, like impotence.
Impotence. Yeah. Smoke gives you impotence. And I was just like,
we got a pretty nice one with like he's like a 5-year-old kid. He kind of looks like a child Putin, and he's just kind of like contemplating and smoking a cigarette and looking quite sort of James Dean-esque in a Russian dictator sort of fashion.
Oh man, that's such a good look. Yeah, Putin does look like a massive baby. How much is the pack of, is it 20 Marlboro Golds there you got?
They used to be like 40 krona, now they're 57.
57.
That makes any sense to you?
40 kronas. Do you know how much they're in pounds? I reckon I can Google that. Hey, I can pull that up online.
Hey.
Let's do that. What? Like £4? Fuck off.
It's expensive to us.
That leads up to next question. A drink of choice. What's your liquid death of choice?
Right now I'm trying my hands at sobriety for the first time ever. So now it's just a shit ton of sparkling water constantly.
Sparkling water. All right, man. Respect.
Apollinaris is a quite good brand. It's like the water to gas ratio is at a point where it almost hurts your inner
throat. Really? Oh, fuck, man. How long you been going sober?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Shit.
But I mean that's the longest I've gone since I was 14. So
14.
Normally I like orange wine. I like any piss beer. I like Mexican beer. I like whiskey that's as smoky as possible.
Like that. Well, I guess in this case now you just gotta watch me slowly get slightly tipsy, so that's fine. As long as you're fine with that, I hope you're okay with that.
I mean that's what every night in Copenhagen has consisted of.
Last 2 weeks.
Since I got on the water whacking. I mean, I'm definitely gonna get fucked up again at some point, so I don't want to be all holy and up on a high horse here.
Yeah, because last time I seen you, we were just in Guillaume after Mucho Flow. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was a good night.
As far as I recall, it was. Yeah.
Are you telling me you don't remember as much as I do? It didn't mean everything to you as well?
Oh no, you have no idea how much it meant. It was the best night of my life.
Do not
the only good night of my life.
Do not cheapen your fake pleasantries, my man. But I'll take that. I appreciate that. So I mean, in regards to that, what's your go-to when you were doing it? Hangover kill. How would you fix yourself? What's your way? Walk me through.
A cold shower.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Just kind of sucking it up.
Yeah.
Or just maintaining the drunk. That's another one.
You know, everybody always says drink the gherkin juice. Apparently, that's a thing. Have you tried that?
Nah, man. I'm not. I kind of recoil at everything that smells a bit too much like wellness, if you know what I mean.
You know, in the morning, I'm never like, I'm going to go to the freshly juiced place in town.
I have an aversion towards ordering juices in public.
Really? Can you expand on that?
I don't like the vibe in those places. Copenhagen is flooded with these juice places that sort of, just loud, terrible house music and, like fresh-faced guys that sort of like shaking all these things and...
Shit. What are these fucking trendy juice places you're talking about Copenhagen? We need to go. It sounds great.
I'll point you in the direction next time you come to Copenhagen.
But no, just kidding. I don't like terrible house music. I don't want to go there. That sounds terrible. This is just a juice nightclub?
Basically, yeah.
Karaoke, song of choice.
It's not unusual, but Tom Jones. I've found
Huge
myself
tune.
at many karaoke joints singing that, and Sinatra, the odd Madonna classic, you know.
Which Madonna song did you go for? I reckon I'll go for like a prayer.
I was gonna say that if you don't embarrass yourself at some level, karaoke, you're not doing it right.
As long as you love me, I think that'd be my my go-to.
No, how does it go?
Oh, the loneliness has always been a friend of mine. I'm leaving my life in your hands. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Something like that. You know, I was
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I remember that one now.
relocate quickly to the garden so I can have a quick cigarette.
I'll join you.
How do you feel, as of recent, as I found in Bristol, particularly, seagulls evolving into the apex predator, being ready to take over the animal kingdom? You know, they're just getting braver, they're getting more fearless, they're not taking any shit. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about seagulls, Elias?
I was sitting in a park recently, and I saw what do you call those black birds that like to steal gold watches and that kind of thing?
Crows?
Crow?
Crow? The crows do that?
No, not the crow. The people out there will know. It's a black bird that looks like a smaller crow that likes to steal jewelry. It likes shiny things, and it's a nasty fucker.
Black birds. Who steal? Who steal gold? Things. Man, I really want to know. Magpie. Say a magpie.
Magpie?
Like.
No. That's a little cute one. This one is an evil motherfucker. It spies on other breeds of birds building nests and family for themselves, and once the nest is built, it goes out and knocks all over the eggs, kills the unborn babies, and then just takes over the nest. Maybe somebody watching will have figured it out, but yeah.
Guys, leave that in the comments.
I saw one of those bully the shit out of a seagull the other day, and the seagull didn't seem so high and mighty in that situation.
Holy shit.
At least in Copenhagen, we seem to have another ruler of the bird kingdom.
I had some cravings for jerk chicken. I really wanted some jerk chicken for unexplained reason. And I was like, I'm going to go get some. So I did. Okay. Yeah, so I had to go. So I've got these like chicken wings to take away from this Jamaican place on Gloucester Road. Bottom of that road, when you played your first show, Croft, I believe. It was your first ever Bristol show at the Croft, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it must have been, yeah. We played there a bunch of times, but that's that sort of... it's like it's quite run down, and then smells like stale beer and puke, right?
I mean, not all of this part, you know. I wouldn't say run down, but
I mean, I don't want to put the place down. It's a lovely venue.
I know the venue. Oh yeah, the old Croft definitely smelled like piss and shit. Yeah. I thought you meant the street. No. Croft smelled fucking awful. And no, it was also like all cider, like that really sweet, strong Bristolian cider.
Yeah.
Like 8%. You drink a half, you're fucked up already. But yeah, I was just got this jerk chicken, went to this park, and I sit down, and this fucking seagull lands right next to me, just kind of like looking me up and going, "What's up? What's up, man? I like those wings. They look good." And I was just like, "Shit, I did a really horrible mistake throwing a tiny bit of chicken away, thinking that away, but obviously I just gave him the taste, what I got." And then he comes back.
You give like them a finger and they take a hand, those seagulls.
So yeah, he just fucking did
last year I was in Istanbul, and my hotel room is close to the sea. I remember I had an open window because it was quite hot, and a seagull flies in and lands in the windowsill, and it's just sitting there in the windowsill, just staring back at me with that cold yellow eye. and we just have a 3-minute stare off before it flies.
Sounds like an Edgar Allan Poe short story right there. A seagull in Istanbul on a hot morning.
I was living at my father's place when I was about 15, and you find actually one of those fucking birds I was talking about before, the ones that like to steal the jewelry, has attempted to fly out of its nest and failed, so it landed on the ground and has somehow hurt its wing, and it's in just lying there facing, death on the ground.
Impending doom.
Yep. Me and my friend, we take it home to my friend's place and we keep it over a couple of weeks. At some point, like we Googled ourselves how to feed it properly and stuff. And at some point, it still couldn't fly, but it was getting quite healthy. So we could actually walk the streets with that black bird sitting on our shoulder or go into a bar. One day we took it into the backyard and it just flew away.
Have you named him or her?
I think he was called Vladimir.
Strong Slavic name. I relate. Okay, let's move on in this questionnaire. What have you been reading recently? Is anything?
The Master and Margarita.
Mikhail Bulgakov.
Yeah, I'm still quite early into the book, but it seems fucking great so far.
Ruski classics.
And then Federico Garcia Lorca.
I've been enjoying your book recommendations. I actually read something that you guys posted at the beginning of lockdown. I've read The Girl, the Golden Eyes, Balzac. The 3 short stories you guys posted.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
Reading Underneath the Volcano at the moment by Mark Mallory.
I got that sitting there.
Really?
Some guy gave it to me years ago, but I didn't really sort of trust him. So
really?
So I never started reading it.
I find reading the books a bit longer because I will just stop. I'll look up words that I don't know to make sure I actually, expand my vocabulary, just improve the lesson. Sometimes, especially if the books are beautifully written, I love it, but I hate it at the same time because, throughout the page, I just like double check loads of words, write down loads of things. So by the time I read like 5 to 10 pages, it's been like, 40 to 50 minutes. Not because I'm a slow reader.
If you talked to me 10 years ago when I was 18, when I started touring, my English was wildly broken. But yeah, I know reading in English has definitely been a tool to sort of broaden language, and also because I write in English, that I've definitely gotten my education through. I'm a high school dropout. I don't have a whole lot of education. By looking a strange looking word up, you will find that how good the writing is, because you will the exact meaning implied in the situation is just really fucking good. Whereas maybe if you didn't, you would just take the word in its vaguest association. It seemed to, at least to journalists, that it was such a big fucking deal that I read a book or two, and it seems like got asked about it in every interview. But the positive thing is that, then you came and asked me at the show, and maybe I pointed you in a direction. And sometimes even at shows, people give me books, and sometimes I've found, like Beyond Us, the last album, I got that title from a Samuel Beckett book that some girl gave me at a show. Whoever she was inadvertently responsible for that. Somebody gave me this book.
Wow,
and Alistair Gray. It's called 1982 Janine. I haven't started reading it yet, but it's on the top of my pile. Rings in the water.
What are some of your favorite films you have seen recently?
Fuck, I've barely seen any films throughout this whole thing.
I watched In the Mood for Love, but Wong Kar-wai.
I love Wong Kar-wai, yeah.
That was my first ever Wong Kar-wai movie, and I fucking fell in love with Tony Leung, and it's just like the way he's this fashion.
The stories are heartbreaking, and then I love the aesthetics of his films.
Heartbreaking, and
that Australian guy who does all the cinematography, he's brilliant.
I haven't seen any of that. I want to see Chungking Express as well.
I went to Chungking Express. Oh, Chungking Mansion. The
Really?
actual building that's about. Yeah, it's amazing. It's in Hong Kong, and I love that film. So I went to that neighborhood and sought out the building, and it's it's just this concrete monstrosity that's kind of like a mall and domestic labyrinth of sort of illicit a lot of I heard that like some humongous percentage of mobile phones in Sudan or some African countries, like 67% of the mobile phones have somehow been through that building.
So the Chungking Express is the building, is a building in Hong Kong.
Chungking Mansions, it's called. It's one of the last remaining of its sort in Hong Kong. But
oh wow,
yeah, it's a fascinating place. My friend got a haircut in there.
Really?
Yeah. Listen to the soundtrack for Fallen Angels by Wong Kar-wai, which is like this.
Oh yeah.
It's like Chinese 90s trip hop. It
Really?
sounds fucking great. Yeah.
I watched two of Elias movies by this director. I watched Hanabi and I watched Sonatine. You've seen those films? Beat Kitano. Takeshi Kitano.
Oh, Takeshi. Yeah, I love Takeshi Kitano. Yeah. No, like when I was a kid, my dad had a DVD box of all his gangster films.
Really?
I was obsessed with them. Yeah.
Dude,
I'm bad at names, but like there's this one where he's on a beach and he like
Oh shit, you got the guy. Yeah, I watched that last week or the week before for the first time. I fucking loved it. Yeah, that scene when he's playing the Russian roulette.
Yeah.
And have you watched the Hanabi, where fireworks, when he's like a kind of like an ex-cop, but his wife has leukemia, and then he kind of has a bit of a debt to Yakuza?
I might have I was watching all those films when I was a teenager, but I should definitely revisit them. But my memory of them are a little.
But dude, yeah, that sure. I found out with my Google research. Did you know about the 1994, as Wikipedia told me, apparently had a motorcycle crash that he later admitted to be a subconscious suicide attempt that rendered.
Takeshi Kitano?
Yeah. So 1994, he had a bike crash that rendered left side of his face partially paralyzed. And then I read that he's such a famous comedy guy, like he's like the comedy personality. He's
a stand-up comedian as well. That's right.
Yeah. So he's just this like Japanese funny guy where a lot of Western world knows him as this auteur of like tough Yakuza movies. And then he fucking tried to kill himself. And I was like, I just find that such a polarizing and interesting person. I want to know about this guy.
Many faces. I'd love to dig more into him.
I mean, quite cliche question, but I suspected I kind of want to know. What have you been enjoying listening into recently?
Some Australian friends from Sydney just released an album. It's called, the artist is Endless and Crazy Mike, and the album is called Sydney Bass, which is just sort of like depressed hooligan music.
Is it like a bogan punk record?
No, it's like clubby stuff, but like but with misanthropic lyrics, and the guy who sings, he's played in a Sydney punk band called Low Life. They're good as well.
I really like Low Life.
I was at a bar the other night after closing hours, and my friend who was the bartender put on a song by a trumpet player called Harry James, and it was just super gorgeous and like sounded like how falling in love probably felt like back in the day. Been listening to a bunch of Pharoah Sanders.
I used to play classical piano for 7 years.
What were you looked at as like a aspiring talent?
It's all about grades. It's all about playing the piece right and nailing the piece. So, for example, the final performance of the 2 months, where there would be in front of the entirety of the school, all the teachers, all the headmasters, all the parents being present. You had to wear a suit. I had to walk in front of the grand piano. The first thing I have to do, I have to bow before I sit down. I sit down and I have to play with no fucking mistakes, and because as a kid, I was so terribly nervous, I used to get really, really, really sweaty hands, because what does sweaty hands mean? Sweaty hands mean I slip off the key in an important, tricky bit. Slip off the key means my grade goes down.
Imagine the pressure. Fuck,
Yeah.
like my only relationship to music is one where it's sort of okay if it's completely smothered in mistakes,
But another thing that was quite tricky was the fact that didn't teach us in like C maj, F major. It was more like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si. And I actually didn't learn any of the chords. I just learned how to play this. And it gave me nothing but resentment of piano, which is one of the most beautiful fucking instruments.
I've heard similar stories from people that's had instruments enforced on them like that, but I do like the image of a young Danny Nedelko in a suit bowing to the audience.
Man, yeah, because you played I really, really loved your guys' Copenhagen contemporary lockdown session.
Right. Thanks.
You played a bit of a piano in that, low key as well.
Yeah, I can fake it all right.
Yeah.
But
fuck, Lost Favorite was the most country version of Lost Favorite I ever heard, which I loved as well. But yeah, you guys kind of properly like flipped them up a bit.
I mean, there was all that extra spare time that comes with lockdown. We actually had time to rearrange these tunes because we had absolutely nothing to do. Oh shit. Okay, there's a moth going fucking mental in my room.
I'm off.
And I just spilled candle wax on my computer. No, I mean it's gonna be okay.
I just wrote a song about a moth because the guys wrote this like really slow instrumental, and I was a bit like, I wrote this song from the perspective of a moth looking for light.
I did one as a pigeon once.
You did one as a pigeon?
Yeah. It was about like some sort of voyeuristic pigeon looking in through people's windows and
I like that.
Witnessing scummy city life.
Mine was more of a like perspective of Icarus, this moth was Icarus, searching for something that will eventually hurt it. That was my kind of vibe. I like positioning in it.
It's a good analogy.
Thank you. I thought mine would be, because it's like, in a way, every single moth in a way is a little tiny Icarus on tour. Who's the guy that you remove? I
mean, we shift around, but often I will bunk up with Jacob for the two facts that we're most prone to stay up the latest, as well as snoring.
Really?
Yeah.
You do have a new member, Casper from Les Win, playing the second guitar. Yeah, I had a really fucking well good chat with him in Portugal. I mean,
they're all very solid people, man.
Okay, this time for my favorite round, and probably your least favorite round. This is called Cringe Questions. Cringe Questions with Danny Nedelko.
Questions.
Cringy questions, embarrassing questions.
All right, bring him on.
When is Ice Age playing with Heavy Lungs? Cringe questions down. What's that?
Well, I mean, first of all, this world is gonna get rid of a little pandemic.
Don't use that as an excuse. That's irrelevant. Although, really valid point.
Well, I mean, time will tell.
Time will tell. Well, cold answer. Cold answer from me is by Rønnenfelt. Sounds like a no to me. Hopefully he didn't mean that.
No, we already played together once. It'll happen again.
That wasn't special. That was a festival lineup. I reckon we should play a fucking very special show. You know, this is the way I think we should go. In my head.
As soon as this world opens up again, I would be happy to.
Do like a little Bristol Copenhagen connection. You know, like
It's a plan, Danny.
We can call it COVID romance stories. Started over Zoom, ended up in the venues like Mayhem or Louisiana.
It's a good vision you have there.
Don't fake with me. Don't fake this orgasm. You know, don't bullshit me, Elias. You know, it has to be real.
Danny, I would love to play.
Follow-up question. Top 5 favorite Nicolas Cage moments for you.
We'll see if I can do 5. Okay.
Do 3 or 2 if you want.
I mean, that's the obvious alphabet from Vampire's Kiss. And I'm gonna do another one from Vampire's Kiss because there's just so many there. But him frantically screaming he's a vampire running through the streets with those fake vampire teeth he buys in his complete delusion. That's a brilliant moment. Then I want to say Moonstruck. He has that love scene with Cher, which is just so much power between two individuals. Warmly recommend that movie. I don't remember which movie it's from, but there's some early Nicolas Cage movie where he's wearing some absurd wig and mustache, and he's on the top of a bed screaming and banging his fist into the mattress. The last favorite moment is Wild at Heart before he shuts down Megadeth, whatever trash metal band is playing. Before he sings Elvis, he does a hand movement to silence the band, which is just something like...
Pet snake. Cool or overrated?
I would definitely say cool. If it could just sort of take care of itself, I would love having a snake living around my apartment.
What would be your name for your snake? If you had to call your snake something.
Rodolfo.
Oh, Rodolfo, you had that quick. Okay. So who's your personal style icon?
Gomez from Adam's Family. His relationship to his wife seems like such a healthy and passionate marriage that that'd be something to aspire to.
No, I'm talking about style.
Yeah, but I was heading in another direction because it was.
Oh, okay. You want to speak about relationships?
Well, I wanted to mention Gomez and what's her name.
How long can you hold your breath?
I haven't tried for a while. I mean, you.
Tell me when.
Okay, now.
Impressive. The man's is going well. Are you cheating? He's honest. I respect the commitment. Doing fucking well. Jesus Christ. You're a fucking Olympic swim diver or some shit. Okay. Oh, you got a fucking blinding minute 15 seconds.
I think we could do it longer, but I mean, I didn't really.
That's quite impressive. I genuinely didn't believe
it wasn't to the brink, but it was starting to get uncomfortable for sure.
Holy shit! I mean, that's a minute and 15 seconds. So you did.
Is that good?
I think that's pretty good. I don't remember the last time I held my breath. You know. Thank you. That was, dude. I'm impressed. A minute and 15 seconds. Actually, no, because I started a bit late. I'm going to say it's 1 minute and 17 seconds. Impressive.
I mean, I think I could do a fair bit longer with a gun to my head or something, but
No, we don't want to.
But I got to the level of where it wasn't so nice anymore.
Pleasure to have you on the show. I was very glad that you said yes. You know, just wanted to be like Conan O'Brien when I was a kid, or David Letterman. You know, just wanted to be the person.
Yeah, you had a talk show host fantasy. Would you practice in front of the mirror and like hear the applause in your brain? Were you like a king of comedy sort of? You made it. You're a talk show host.
Man, I can't wait to invite you back when the production value is going to really go up. You know, I'm just waiting for this to get picked up with some network. You know, working those angles. You know.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. All right, nice talking to you, Danny. Do a virtual handshake.
Thank you so much for taking the time. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, and hopefully it won't be like another ocean of time before we don't meet like this.
In person, yeah, no, but hopefully next time we can actually discuss this.
Yeah, sucks you got your Copenhagen show cancelled there. But I'll get on with my night then, and it was nice talking to you. Much love.
Yeah, much love, man. Take care. Speak soon, brother.
It's your boy! It's your boy!